Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here. I'm sorry, I'm sticking to this chair. It's poking me in the legs. Uh, sorry. I'm here with my Flosstube update number 448. I think last week I misspoke. I said 487, but it's 447 was last week. So this week it's 448. 448. Today is Saturday, August 22nd. 22nd? Yes, 22nd. 1986, for those of you keeping score. Uh, so last week I talked a little bit about my floss storage uh, process, whatever. Um, so yeah. Um, this week I just have very little to talk about. I'm actually trying to squeeze this in quickly because my sister Eve has a phone appointment with a doctor or whatever. So I want to get this done, before she has to do that or whatever. So I'm not interfering with that, or whatever. I don't know. But so I was hoping, as I did my WIPGO whip uh, this past week, I was hoping I could finish it, but I came close. I came very close, but I didn't. For those of you who are old enough to remember or to have heard about it, the phrase "close but no cigar." Yeah, close but no cigar. So let me get this behind it. This is Frostbite, sorry, by Amanda May MacNaughton of Ardith Designs. This is, sorry, my picture is kind of bent because I had things on my bed and my cat pockets kept insisting on stepping on them, walking across them and stepping on it. So yeah, so this has gotten kind of bent from that process. Anyway, let me put this behind my stitching so that the light doesn't shine through it. But so this is how far I got. So this is the bottom of the design. So I'm very close to the edge. I don't have much margin, but I don't know why I insisted on using this piece of fabric for this design, but it was barely big enough. So like the top of the design is like right here above this hat. There's a couple of rows above the hat. Excuse me. And this dark edge, this is the edge of this globe kind of thing that goes around the upper part of this, and you can't. It's hard to make out until I tilt it a little bit. You can see the light shining. There's this white and étoile branch like this on this side. So this branch goes down here and goes along the outer edge of the design and down into the bottom part. And it's hard because this is like, white or slightly off white, white on white down here, and just this gray edge is the bottom edge of the design. So, and then there'll be more of this dark stitching all the way around, to this side. So you can see this little bat thing here, and that's done in the branches and this bat, and there's like a snowball or two here or there. Like there's one, just above his hand here. It's hard to see. It'll show up better, of course, once it's surrounded by the black stitching or the dark stitching. But there's like a little snowball here, and there's another bat up here, and another snowball thing up here by his head. So those will all be highlighted with this dark stitching if I ever get it done. So I've hit the goal for this little design, Frostbite. Um, the goal was 7 days, and I think Thursday was 7 days. So theoretically, I could still squeeze in more stitching with the hopes of getting that done, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that is Frostbite. So that's one of my WIPGO charts. So, as Groucho Marx, for those of you who remember, used to say, "Close but no cigar." For those of you who are too young to remember, he had a show. What was it called? I can't remember the name of the show, but it was like a quiz show kind of thing, and when people, would kind of get not quite get the answer right, he would say that phrase, close but no cigar. Um, I don't, I don't know if there was a cigar. Well, he had a cigar traditionally. He had a cigar in his mouth and all that. And so, I, anyway, that was a phrase he used on that show. So the other thing I've been working on for this is for cross stitch camp for August is Glory in the Wind, and this I still have to the end of the month to finish it, and so this is very close to being finished. Also, this is also a close but no cigar finish. So this is Glory in the Wind by Robin Pickens. And the prompt for August was do something new to you, and this is the new designer for me. This, of course, I talked about this before. This came out at Market this spring. This is also bent up from my cat walking on it. So let me take this out of the hoop so you can see it a little better. I did finish all of the flag, the ribbons and everything else that I was working on, and so all I have left to do now is the wording across the bottom here where it says United States of America and 250 years. I thought about whether I wanted to do 250 years or there's an alternative phrase, 4th of July. What does it say? Yeah, July 4th, that you could put here instead of the 250 years. But I think I'm going to put the 250 years because that's the whole point of doing it. I guess if I was doing it any other year, I could put that, or I could put July 4th underneath it or whatever. So it says established 1776, United States of America, 250 years. So these two passages are all I have left to do. Sorry, my phone is, I didn't turn the sound off of my phone. But so, and actually I had this needle minder on frostbite, and since I paused working on it, I transferred the needle minder to here because I did not have a needle minder on this kit, on this chart, whatever. So anyway, this is I'm trying to get some cloth on here to back this up. This is a little bit curly because for being in the hoop, but so I finished this whole upper part. So this established 1776, and the flag, the stylized flag. Sorry, the flag of the birds and the ribbons of stripes here across. They're mostly, of course, red and white, but then there's a couple of shades of red, like a one that's called grapefruit and one that's called merlot, which are they're sort of darker and lighter highlights in there. That the grapefruit is really hard to make out because it's very close to the red and to the real red here in these stripes, but the merlot is a little bit easier to see here because it's darker. But that's the color that right here I've got D states. So it says United States of America, and then underneath it, this lighter blue has the 250 years. So that's all that's left is just the wording. So hopefully I might even be able to finish it today, or this weekend for sure, which is good because I still have to do my other whip for this month, my second whip. And my 2 new starts. The 2 new starts, conceivably, I could just cram them into one day and just put length of thread in each one, and that's because there's no goal. So it's technically a new start. I'd like to do a little more, at least something substantial, so I could, when I come back to it, I'll be able to tell what I was doing. But anyway, so this is almost done also. So this is, again, another close but no cigar. But it'll be done, I think in this weekend, if I keep my brain engaged. I have to do, a couple of errands today, but, So my next whip is Dutch Winter by Twin Peak Primitives. This was given to me for my birthday last year or the year before by one of my viewers. So last year I did just, it was one of my new starts. So maybe it was given to me the year before. I have it written, it's written down somewhere. Yeah, because it would have been put on my WIPGO board last year for a new start. So I think, yeah, so I think it was two years ago that it was given to me as a birthday gift. And this person gave me the you could buy it as a kit. It comes with a nice little canvas project bag, and then the chart is in there, and then has some floss drops and various things like that. So here it is, and this is and it comes with this lovely needle winder. But so this is where I just have this little man here. That's his hat, and that's his jacket or whatever, and then this little bit of these branches here. So this is all I have started. And the other day I was like, do I even have, I was like, I think I made sure I have all the threads, but I'm not positive. So I went through it. Yes, I have them all. So I can, and I was looking at it, in more detail so I could be sure I knew where I was going to start. And I think I had started to, I had something like half stitches here on this jacket. So I think I'm going to finish the jacket as much as possible and try to maybe put it in his face or something. And yeah, and get this little man is in the center of the design. So maybe do that. There's going to be a lot of snow, and yeah, this sort of a lot of little detail kind of stitching, but yeah. And this is 28 count Lugana that I dyed myself. So it's all wadded up back here, but I guess I have to find a needle. There's not a needle in here. So yeah, I have to choose a needle for it, but yeah. The other design, sorry, I didn't mention at the time, the snowman is on 14 count Ada, printed Ada that I think I got at either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I think it's a Charles Craft printed fabric. It's because it's this sort of rainbowish color. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of there's some sort of pink and purple, blue kind of coloring on this otherwise white Ada. And if you look on the back it's just white. It's not, so it's printed on one side, right? The Glory in the Wind, this is 32 count. I have the tag somewhere. I think it's Belfast linen from Hobby Lobby. It's I think it's their Artiste brand, this particular fabric. But I have another patriotic design. Just was one of my new starts. I mean, no, I just did it because I have several patriotic designs because of this year being the 250th anniversary. So this is the beginning of one of them. It's just one little axe and some white, like little designs here. But this axe is from a design called Stand Firm, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln. So there's a whole bunch of Abraham Lincoln little motifs, the log cabin, lamp, because she's studied by lamplight, and various things. But anyway, so there's lots of motifs, and then the Lincoln Memorial, I think, in the middle of it or something. I don't know. But so I have several patriotic designs, and I started this on this fabric, on this corner of the fabric, and when I was looking for something for Glory in the Wind, I thought, oh, I can squeeze it on there because the Abraham Lincoln one is going to go this way on this end of the fabric, and Glory in the Wind is going to go this way on this other end of the fabric, and I'll have some left over here. So, But anyway, so this is, I think it's 32 count Belfast linen. I think. Actually, I have it right here. I think I have it here. Anyway, so Dutch Winter is my next project that's coming up, as well as the no, that's not it either. I don't have it here. I don't have the little tag. Anyway, it's, you know what it is. Some kind of I believe it's Belfast linen. So Dutch Winter is my next project. I'll probably be starting on Sunday or Monday, to just get that going. And I kind of get a little bit obsessive about, like, okay, I have 7 days, and like basically I want to stitch all day on that, on each project, so as many hours as I have to stitch. But both of my sisters are pointing out, because I was talking about, hoping to finish Glory in the Wind. Like, well, you don't have to do like 8 hours on Dutch Winter. You could do just a couple of hours, and then a couple of hours on Glory in the Wind, whatever. And it's true. I could squeeze, multiple projects in one day. As a matter of fact, I did with Frostbite and Glory of the Wind. At one point, a couple of points, I just worked on both of them during that day, and still called it a day for Frostbite. So yeah, so I could do it, and like, again, technically, I just have to do at least one length of thread for the two new starts that I have coming up. So one is Bunny's House by I'm going to take it out of the plastic. It's a little bit. Bunny's House by Emily Call. Yeah. Sorry. There. It's a big fat carrot and a bunny and some various things. I think it's an Easter design. It's I had written down what the stitch count was, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, so I have all the threads set aside for it. It's a mixture of Weeks, Classic, Colorworks, and DMC. So I've got all the threads set aside for that. And I don't know that I have a specific fabric chosen. I have a few options from that Bestitch Me grab bag, which is mostly like 36 count. And then the other one I'm doing is Tiny Modernist Nativity Scene that came out, I want to say Jingle Ball last year. I was trying to see if the whatchamacallit was on here. The year. But I want to say it was from the Jingle Ball this past Christmas. The stitch count on this is 90 by 101. I don't think it says specifically on here when it came out, but I think it's relatively new. I think, I don't know, Nativity Scene by Tiny Modernist. So that's my other new start, and I do have a piece of Black Ada set aside to do it on, and this is yeah, it's 14 count Black Ada, so it should be big enough for that. Yeah, it'll fit on there. And I have all the threads. It's all DMC. They're all down here on the bottom. So those are my two new starts that I'll be doing in the next, I don't know, before the end of the month. Maybe the 31st, but it'll be the end of the month. So next week, excuse me. Next week, I will be house sitting for my younger sister, um, staying with her cats who act like they've never seen me before in their lives. um, and But I will be at her house, so I will film my update from her house, which I've done a few times here on this channel. And I'm looking forward to 4 days of like basically uninterrupted stitching, because I'll be there like over the weekend, like Friday through Sunday or Monday or something like that. So yeah, so I'll be working on cross stitch and just having uninterrupted time. Um, but anyway, so I will be doing an update, but it'll be from her house, and I don't know what time and when or whatever. But it should be Saturday morning, like normal. Anyway, I think that's it for me. Um, yeah, like I said, I've got some errands to run today and all that, and I have just had the two projects, um, and I'm looking forward to getting started on my my second WIPGO, the Dutch Winter. So that is it for me for this week, short and sweet. And I will see you next Saturday from my sister's house, from Naomi's house in Chandler, um, which it's still in the Phoenix area, but since we live way down here now, it seems like so far away. Um, a funny story I had when I worked at Family Life in Little Rock. One of the things we did at Family Life was marriage conferences. Where people get together, they have somebody up there talking about the ups and downs of marriage and this and that and the other. Anyway, um, uh, so a couple had called in wanting to go to, or maybe I think the I don't know if it was the guy's mother or the girl's mother. They were actually an engaged couple, and they were going to be attending this conference. And so she had called to get them into the the conference we were doing here in the Phoenix area. I don't remember exactly. I think it was in Scottsdale, but I'm not sure. Um, but so Phoenix, of course, is made up of the greater Phoenix metropolitan area is made up of several small separate municipalities. So like they each have their own mayor and their own police force or whatever. So there's Phoenix proper, and there's Chandler, and there's Tempe, and there's Gilbert and Mesa and Scottsdale, and they're all and Glendale I think is another one, and all that. So and like here where we live in Santan Village, so you cross the street. This is a little bit separate, but like with Phoenix, Tempe, Chandler, Mesa, Gilbert, Scottsdale, they're all you cross the street and you're in a different town. You're in Phoenix, and you cross the street and you're in Chandler, and you cross the street and you're in Tempe, like that. So this lady called, and she was trying to get her son and daughter, or well, son and son's fiance or something, whatever it was. She was trying to get them into this conference, and at that time the conference was sold out. I think it was like on a waiting list or something, for people to get in, and and um, so I think I had taken the call from one of the other customer service reps, because this lady, wanted to make sure she could get the kids registered for this conference, because she said, well, they already took time off from their jobs and they're coming from out of town, and they need to get in the hotel and yada yada. And so I was talking to the person that was in charge of the waiting list for this conference, and she said, yeah, we'll squeeze them in. So I said, okay, I can go ahead and get you in. I said, so let me know I was going to set up their accounts with their separate addresses, right? And so they were like, they were going to the conference in, I don't know, it was in Scottsdale or whatever. His address was something like in Tempe and hers was in Chandler. They're not coming from out of town. They're in town. It's like, it was all I could do to not laugh out loud. And I didn't live here at the time, but my sister did, and Naomi did, and I think Eve did already. It's like, like I said, I knew that they're all the same town basically, but yeah. So I was, it's kind of like, lady, it's all the same town. They're in town. But anyway, yeah, she was like, oh, they're giving me their addresses in Tempe and Chandler or something like that. So I was like, okay, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, so I'll be in the foreign land of Chandler next weekend. So that's it for me, and I will see you then next week from the foreign country of Chandler. All right, bye. Thanks for watching. Oh, and like I said, I'm close to 400 followers. Tell your friends about it. If you're a casual watcher and you're not a subscriber yet, go ahead and subscribe. And ring the bell so you can know whenever I do a new video, which is typically every Saturday. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, I was gonna say. I should have a new viewer at least. I don't know if I don't know if she's going to subscribe. I don't know how often she watches YouTube videos, but my sister and I go to two yarn crafter, basically crafting, all kind of craft groups. There was one that meets on Thursdays, on Fridays. I think I mentioned this before. It's basically the kind of but it just depends on some people could go more often on Thursdays, some people go more often on Fridays, some people like me and my sister can go to both, whatever. And she and I, she might have an appointment, one of us might have an appointment on Friday, one of us might have an appointment on Thursday. So anyway, but one of the ladies she was in the group on Thursday, and she had asked me about the video that I make with my sister, the Sticks and Strings video, and so I told her about that. So she might be checking that out. I hope. And she had found it on her phone and marked it so she could watch it later. And so I don't know if she might go from there to this video. I don't know, because we were it's linked in there. But anyway, so yeah. So if she comes along, that'd be fun too. So anyway, yeah. Feel free to tell your friends. I hope you enjoy whatever nonsense I'm talking about when I'm here. But yeah, so now I'm really leaving. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.